Okay, good afternoon. Just to get some closure on Oregon and then moving on to Florida. We did a great job the first 2 weeks of really taking care of the small details. And the small details lead to the big details and lead to winning football games. And obviously against Oregon, we did not pay any attention. We didn't do the small details that it takes necessary to win football games. I think a lot of it had to do with the quality of our opponent. But right now, moving forward, we are not a very mentally tough football team. And everything we do in our football program is about mental conditioning, mental toughness. And when you go on the road, you have to have a road focus about yourself. And I thought that, the game became fast. We suffered some adversity, and we had some individuals make some uncharacteristic mistakes and mental errors. And to go on the road and play in these types of environments against the quality opponents, not only Oregon, but as we continue to progress and move forward throughout the season, our mental toughness, our mental conditioning has to take monumental steps forward. We didn't do the small details to winning. We gave up 72 yards and lost leverage on defense. We had way too many mental errors, probably the most. I've talked about eye discipline. You've probably are sick and tired of hearing me talk about see a little, see a lot, but I think this game really exposed it. Lack of discipline with our eyes, staring in the backfield, individuals coming off on man coverage, not doing their job, just way too sloppy. 16 missed tackles. Offensively, we were not very good in first down efficiency, which leads itself to not being very productive on third down. And two big plays, that's it. And those two big plays occurred on our one scoring drive in the first half. I believe the first or second drive of the game. And again, we can't play perfect. Today's world of college football, you need big plays. And, we didn't have big plays, big chunk yardage. And when you're forced to drive the football against a talented defense like Oregon, you're not going to have much success. I continue to say it, is we must overachieve in order to be able to compete and win football games. We did not overachieve. I do know this. I know our players are very prideful. And the only thing you can do is roll your sleeves up and go back to work today and work on being better. That's all you can do. And I will say this, and then I'll move forward to Florida, is that losing will never, ever be tolerated here or accepted at the University of Tennessee. And it's unacceptable. And you can search for all the excuses that you want. Winning is a habit and losing is a habit. And it's unacceptable. And our players are going to understand that. And it all talks about your week of preparation. It means players stepping up and making big-time plays. It's preparing our team. That starts with me. Preparing our football team to play the best of our God-given abilities. And that's all that I can ask of them. They give Tennessee their all. Each and every day in practice and on the game field, that's all that I can ask of them. I said our job is twofold, is to develop these players to be the best student athletes, best football players, best human beings that they can be. And the next job is to recruit quality student athletes that understand what it takes to represent the University of Tennessee and get back to the prideful tradition that we have. And our kids are very prideful, and I expect them to come out with a great day of practice and getting ready to face a very, very, very talented Florida football team. The demands become greater. You look at them defensively, they're only giving up 50 yards per game in the rushing category. Third down conversions, I've never seen this in all my years of coaching. They lead the country in third down conversions. They've given up 2 out of 24 attempts on third down conversions. They're third in the country in total defense, giving up 208.5 yards per game. Extremely talented, physical, very active. Offensively, playmakers all over the place. Another dual threat quarterback who can run, who can pass. A little bit different schematically, but a lot of the same similarities as well in terms of different reads for your linebackers, their eye discipline, play action, unbalanced sets, and getting the ball in the hands of their playmakers. And then you're going into another hostile environment. So this week, our whole mental focus, our mental conditioning, if you said what's the biggest area of improvement, is becoming a much more mentally tough football team, proving that you can go on the road and handle all the distractions that it takes, in your preparation before the game, but also on game day as well. So I will answer any questions that you may have.
Butch, you can work on getting physically stronger, you can work on scheming. How do you work on getting mentally tougher?
Just continue to demand. And everything in our football program is based off of mental conditioning, mental toughness. I think if you look at our body of work, of every place that we've left, they've been a mentally tough football team. And it's just grinding, and we have to rely on our seniors. And our players understand it. They know. It's the ability to focus and concentrate. You can look at key points of the game. Last Saturday, it's 17-7 with 11 minutes to go in the second quarter. And they have a 3rd and 8. And we have an individual who's in man coverage come off and doesn't do his job and turns his assignment free. And those are the things that we as a coaching staff, we have to get corrected. It's our players taking great pride in their performance. I think that's the big thing is pride in our preparation, pride in your performance, pride in our performance, as a coaching staff of preparing this football team. And those are the things that getting back that are non-negotiable, is the standard of excellence that we're going to demand day in and day out, not only on the field, but in the classroom and everything that we do. And it gets back to that thing about being a champion and understanding what it takes to be a champion each and every day, how you prepare yourself in the training room, in the classroom. There's a reason why teams win, and you deserve victory. And I said it is, the ball is shaped a certain way. But when you work harder, when you play with a mentality, that ball bounces in your hands. And I think we've seen a great illustration of that the first 2 games of the year. And we can never forget what got us to that point. We have to be a blue-collar, overachieving football team that plays winning football and does not beat itself.
Which was your lack of team speed on defense. How big a factor do you think that was?
Big factor. That's one thing that we have to address. And, there's only so many things you can do to make your team faster. But I think, John, some of it was, again, not reading our keys, slow with our eye discipline, staring at the quarterback. And I think sometimes we let the mind tie the feet up. And so, you can have guys that run 4.4, 4.5 on a stopwatch, but they don't play that fast. And a lot of times it's the mental aspect. Football is a game of instincts and reactions. And I didn't think that we reacted as quickly as we needed to. And then we have to develop our speed. And then, obviously, recruiting speed is at a premium. We must get faster to compete, in our conference and at a national level. We must get faster.
Driscoll's a guy who's coming off a bad performance. They played really, really well here last year. When you look at him on film, what catches your eye about him?
Well, I think he's a very, very good quarterback. I think he's in charge of their offense. He made 1 or 2 poor decisions, but, he's going to present many challenges for us. First of all, he can do both. He can run the football. He can throw the football. He has a year of maturity, a year of growth and development in their offensive scheme. So his knowledge base, I think, has improved greatly. He has great confidence, and he has weapons and playmakers around him. And he can hurt you both with his legs and his arm. And we're going to have to play exceptionally well. And we have to do a great job, again, applying pressure and our aiming points on the quarterback, because they do a great job with false reads. A lot of the reading the zone and the zone keepers and the zone reads, but also different things where the line blocks one way and different things that we do offensively as well.
What's the update on Salisbury and Sept?
Yeah. Sept, we anticipate him being back. He'll be in practice today. Salisbury is still going through some things with the MRI, but right now is that he'll be out 3 to 6 weeks. And I'll know a little bit more later in the day, but he definitely won't play the next couple weeks.
What about your reference Florida's quarterback? What about your own quarterback play and just competition at quarterback and I guess tailback?
Well, I think, first of all, it's been challenging at the quarterback position just because we haven't had any big splash plays, and I'd like to see Justin settle in a little bit more and be a little more aggressive. I thought the play that he had on the touchdown pass to Jason Kroom. I thought he stepped back. He was assertive. He set his feet. You know, he demanded command in the pocket, and he was confident, and he threw the ball in there, and he was accurate. You know, we need him to attack more. But just like any position in our program, it's open. And whatever quarterback has the best week of practice will be the starter for Tennessee when we play Florida. And if that means a freshman quarterback, that means a freshman quarterback. We'll have more quarterback run into our package this week. And we just need to find ways to generate big explosive plays. And if that's Josh Dobbs running the read option or Riley Ferguson, that's what we'll do. But we have to create big plays, and that's going to be a focus and preparation this week.
And then Marlon, is he pushing Rajon?
He is. You know, Marlon is an individual who is slowed by injury. He's back to 100%, and he is. And, again, we need more explosive plays from the running back position, too, in terms of, I said it, if the play's blocked for 4 yards, we can't get 4 yards. We need 14 yards. You know, but I do think both Rajon, you know, and Marlon are complementing each other. You know, I think they've both improved greatly. I thought Rajon did a much better job of getting north and south, but we can't turn the football over. That's inexcusable in our program. But they're both working exceptionally hard. I think they both have improved their pass protection skills. So those two individuals are getting better. Now I need, you know, the Alden Hills and the Tom Smiths, you know, to continue to push those two. You know, what we need in our football program is competition. Competition is the greatest motivator of all. And I thought Tom Smith did some really good things at the end of the game, and so did Alden Hill, and we're going to start to rely on them more as well.
Marquez North, does he need to take another step to
Yes.
be a reliable playmaker?
Yeah, you know, Marquez is going through that transformation of a true freshman. He's extremely talented. You know, when John brought up about team speed, we put him on the clock. He's a 4.40 guy. He can run. He's physical, you know, but he's still learning the little nuances of how to create separation, you know, how to get released from the line of scrimmage. And he's playing against two NFL corners on Saturday that are going to be in his face, pressing him up. And I see him getting better and better, but that's the luxury that we have. We have to play true freshmen, and they have to grow up in a hurry.
How much does that impede what the quarterback can do for you guys when you do have so many?
Well, it does, you know, and, you know, everyone looks to the quarterback, but there was on 2 instances where we had seam routes wide open, and our slot receivers were off their landmark. And everything is about rhythm, spacing, timing. You know, it's about reception areas, and everyone wants to look for the quarterback, but the receivers paint pictures for the quarterback. You know, I tell them they're route artists, you know, and they have to take pride in the small details. And, you know, Zach is on that each and every day, and we're getting better. So it's really been hard to judge the quarterback just because of all the moving parts and pieces and the different dynamics that we're going through. And then, you know, you lose 2 slot receivers on Wednesday and Thursday. You know, so we had to simplify. Half of our game plan for Oregon had to be put aside just because of being able to move receivers around just to be functional. And that is what it is.
Dig and Jonathan, do you think they'll be back?
We do expect them back. Today's a big day to see how far that they've come, but we do anticipate them practicing today.
Which had some fourth downs that you considered going for in the first half when Oregon was pulling away? Did you come close to rolling the dice on some of those?
You know, you always think everything through, but, you know, I don't ever want to put our defense in negative situations, you know, and, you know, we're still in the game at all, and I'm not a, you know, double down. You know, I play the percentages. Everything is strategically thought out in the game plan. You know, percentages of where they've been over the last couple years, of where you go for it on the football field. You know, it's fourth. Is it 4th and 1? Is it 4th and 3? Is it 4th and 8? How does it affect your defense? Where is the momentum? So nothing is just roll the dice. You know, everything is very calculated when we look at that stuff.
From your working knowledge of the SEC, I don't know how much video you watched in the off-season, but where do you think Oregon would fit in to this conference?
Well, you know, it's really hard. All I know is that Oregon is an extremely talented football team. You know, they have great team speed. They're very well coached. They're masters of what they do. They know what they are, they have their identity, and they do it exceptionally well. You know, obviously moving forward now in the SEC play, you know, you walk in and after recovering from Oregon, now you have to go on the road and play a rivalry game in Florida, which I already told you statistically, defensively, explosive, can play man coverage, a lot of pressure looks. You know, the other thing that I think the missing piece and where we're at in our program, just to talk Tennessee, is our special teams. You know, when you talked about the speed factor, I thought the speed differential was much different in terms of the areas of special teams. And that's an area that we have to do a much better job, you know, technically, discipline-wise, fundamentally. But, you know, you may see our entire starting defense playing special teams. I mean, it is what it is. You know, we have to put speed on our special teams from here on out.
The quarterback situation, you said it's an ongoing competition since the start. Is it going to be any different this week in terms of other guys getting more reps in the first team?
Yeah, we may open it up and give more repetitions. You know, obviously we have to prepare the guys to play in the game, and so we can't let that. But I just, you know, you have to earn your spot each and every week, and you know, we'll see what the freshmen can handle. But I think Nate Peterman continues to progress along. You know, he's an individual. It's 6 a.m. and he's the first person in the building every single day. And he has a great grasp and knowledge, and I continue to see him getting better. And I think Justin's getting better, but I just think competition is healthy, and, you know, it's going to be a week-to-week process of who can manage the offense the best.
What you talked about with Justin wanting him to be a little bit more aggressive and attacking, where he always talked about not wanting to force things and
Right.
take care of the ball. Just how difficult is that, you know, for a quarterback that may not be that type of, you know, gunslinger?
Well, when I talk about a gunslinger, I'm not talking about a gunslinger. You know, I don't know what your definition of a gunslinger is.
Just in terms of him, you know.
I mean, I don't think any quarterback gets back there and blindly throws. You've been watching North Dallas 40 too much. But, you know, a disciplined quarterback who trusts his eyes. You know, the great quarterbacks, they have anticipatory skills. You know, they understand the body language, and that's where it gets back. They understand the body language of the receivers. So you're throwing a 15-yard dig. You know when that receiver's coming out of his dig before he gets to that 15 yards because of his body language. And that's why routes on air, you know, you talk to Peyton Manning all the time. That's the most productive part of practice. This is not Skelly and team periods. Those are essential to winning. It's those routes on air where they're building that trust. And I think the influx at wide receiver position has kind of set back probably the development of Justin and Nate and all that. When I talk about more aggressive, I'm talking about going back there and trusting what you see, throwing him open, you know, understanding if the reception point is at 12 yards, that's where that ball is going. I think a number of times what Justin has done is he has waited for the receiver to become open, then he's throwing the football. Anticipatory skills from a quarterback, that's what separates great quarterbacks, you know, in throwing him open. And, you know, you look at the touchdown pass to Jason, he got back, he was aggressive, he trusted what he saw, and he threw him open. And I guess that's more to kind of define, maybe that's on me, define what I'm looking for. That's more what I'm looking for. And what we're looking for as a staff and what we're looking for in our quarterbacks, just that aggressiveness, that kind of that arrogance. You know, every great quarterback has it about themselves. They have that it factor.
How much do you feel hamstrung by the fact Justin doesn't look like a running quarterback or is not being a running quarterback?
Well, you know, we would like to be able to create plays with our legs a little bit, and I think that's why, you know, you're going to see the open competition with Dobbs and Riley Ferguson this week. And, you know, again, it's trying to find ways to create plays. You know, but Justin still, you know, Justin has a knack to create plays with his legs. And when I'm talking about creating a play, it may be 3rd and 4, and he gets 5 yards. That's the equivalent of a 40-yard run by a quarterback. It's keeping plays alive, and I think that comes with experience, you know, and you only gain that through practice and in-game experiences. So I think more command of feeling the pocket break down and being able to get you 4 or 5 yards at a time.
Butch, does he have the luxury in his zone and stuff to pull it at any time?
Yes.
Or do you take that out of
He has the luxury to pull it. And you
Not done it the last 2
you saw in the first 2 games he pulled some, especially in the first game. And again, he may not be a home run hitter where he's going to get you 50, 60, but if they can get us 4 yards in our book is an efficient run. 4 plus 4 plus 4 equals 12 first down. So we're just looking for our quarterbacks just to be efficient enough in the run game. You look at last year with Brandon Kay in our offense, he's a drop back passer, but he was able to create plays with his legs down the stretch to help us win a championship. That's what we're looking for here. We still want a high vision guy who can see it when the protection or breaks down, the pocket collapses, a high vision guy in the scramble drill. But just get us, if it's not there, get us 4 or 5.
And on Jordan, what can you do to make it easier for him?
Repetitions.
How do you give him the ball without it being a perfect route run?
Well, I think first of all, repetitions. Repetition is the mother of all learning, just over and over and over again. Just constantly force feeding him, maybe get him some quick touches, but what's happened is we've seen so much press that they've kind of taken that away. We did throw him a middle screen. Now the next evolution is once he gets the middle screen, at the collegiate level, you're not going to beat everyone running east and west. Put your foot in the ground and get north and south. And those are all things that freshmen go through. There's a learning curve.
Butch, were you disappointed in the play of the offensive line in Oregon, or do you think that they're not getting enough help maybe from the running backs or the passing game?
Well, I think first of all, we had 0 negative yards rushing the football. When we talk about when we run the football, we can't have negative yardage football plays in our offense. Would I have liked to have been able to run the ball a little bit more efficiently and effectively? Absolutely. And for us, we have to establish the line of scrimmage. And this week will be a tremendous challenge, with their defensive front. They have a lot of Sunday bodies in their football program and a lot of players that are going to play on Sunday. So it's going to be a great test to us. But again, we have to do a better job with play action, run action, different things of alleviating some of the stress and pressure that we put on our offensive front. And that stems with the quarterback, that stems with the running backs, the tight ends, and the guys on the perimeter.
How is Florida's defense different from Oregon's defense?
Well, I think first of all, schematically, they're a little bit different. I think Florida can play 8-9 deep defensively, and there is no, they're as talented as the first group, and that's nothing to take away from Oregon. Oregon is a fine, fine football team. But I think speed and size, the combination of the speed and size, when you think of defenses in the SEC, when you watch Florida on film, they define SEC defenses.
In the secondary, I'm sure you know there's going to be some growing pains. How valuable is a game like Saturday for somebody like Cam Sutton, and how much of a teaching tool do you try to turn that into for a young kid?
You try to take positives out of the game, and obviously we lost the football game and there wasn't a lot of positives, but when you really look at the film, there were some positives. I say not a lot, but there were some. And I think the experience of just the live game repetitions, the speed of the game, the quality of opponent, the ability to think fast, all those will be valuable lessons, and I think we're going to reap the benefits as the season progresses, but not just this year, but 2-3 years down the road. We're going to refer back to this game for a number of years, and this game will be a measuring stick for us, especially for our younger players as we continue to progress and move forward with this football program. I think of a game, our first year at Cincinnati, we had to go play on national television versus NC State. And they physically dominated every single aspect of that football game and embarrassed us on national television. And that game was a game that we pointed for the rest of our tenure at that other place. And as we continue to move forward, there are great lessons, to be learned. And sometimes I think you can learn more from losing than you can from winning. I think sometimes when you win, you sweep things underneath a rug. But when you lose, everything is exposed, and it's all about getting better. And we just have to get better. And I said it, and I think you all see it. You're all in agreement with me. It's going to be a process. And we can't get ahead of ourselves. We can't get too emotionally up, too emotionally down. We just have to keep focusing on being a better football team minute by minute, day by day. That's all we can do. And our players, everyone was in the building yesterday. They're very prideful. They're eager. They're ready to go back to work today. And that's what I needed to see. And I liked what I saw. It is what it is. And that's the only way we're going to continue to get better. No panic. Stay the course.
Which, how much do you talk about this rivalry has been so one-sided that Florida has won the last 3 games? And how much do you build your team up around trying to get a win for Tennessee?
Well, you know, all I know is the present, you know, and it's Team 117. And it's a great rivalry game versus a great football program, a well-coached football team with great football players on the road in a great environment. And it's a great opportunity, but it's going to take everything that we have. We must be the team that overachieves Saturday. And our players understand the rivalry. They understand what's at stake. I think they understand what has gone on before them. But the only thing that we can control is our preparation and how we perform on Saturday. That's the only thing that we can control.
Is there any update?
No. You know, I know absolutely nothing else on the Mo Couch situation. You guys know me. As soon as I know anything, I'll keep you informed of his status and the ongoing process. But right now, you know as much as I do. We've told you everything that we know, and there's nothing else.
Salisbury's status, just the test your defensive line is going to face, particularly once you get beyond
right. A great challenge, you know. Now, you know, I thought Tavares Salisbury, if you want to talk about an individual who's come a long way in your football program from a mental toughness standpoint, is I thought he had progressed better than any D lineman that we had. He was probably playing the best of anyone we had up front. And so losing him was a major, major setback for the interior of our defense. And so, you know, it is what it is. Some individuals have a great opportunity. Jason Carr, true freshman out of Memphis, is going to have to grow up in a hurry, and he will gain some valuable repetitions in practice, and he has to be game ready to go for the Gators. Okay, thank you.